It's always been a dream of mine to learn 100 different songs in 100 different languages. And last September, I woke up one day and thought, let's do it. Now, as someone who's been a cultural khichdi her whole life, all my grandparents, while they are Indian, are from 4 very distinct parts: Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Maharashtra, and Karnataka, all of which have different languages, dressing styles, food, incredibly different subcultures. I've never really identified strongly with an identity. On top of that, I've lived exactly half my life between the US and India, and I love the melting pot that I've truly grown up in. But sometimes I do see friends who take such strong pride in their identities, and it's amazing to witness. In our world today, unfortunately, sometimes that pride can lead to divisiveness and ego. There's just so much beauty in learning about other people's identities and bridging them together. The first show I ever performed internationally, outside of India and the US, was actually in the Philippines many years ago. And so before going, I decided to learn a song in Tagalog, which is the local language. And oh my God, the difference that it made was immense. I think people felt seen. People felt so much joy that somebody had attempted to honor their culture. And I weirdly ended up on a Filipino talk show called Banana Sunday. Here's a little clip of me singing on it. And it taught me so much about how language can be this beautiful currency. Because at the end of the day, human nature is, we want to feel seen, we want to feel heard, we want to feel represented. And whether that happens in seeing people like us in certain positions or seeing what we stand for being appreciated by others, that's just truly always been the intention. So I thought to myself, okay, realistically, I can do 1 song a week to be able to properly learn the language and honor the culture and find a collaborator. But 100 weeks is 2 years, and I wasn't sure that I was ready for that kind of commitment. So chose to do 50 weeks instead, because that's around a year. And thus was born the 50 songs, 50 weeks, 50 languages challenge. I'm going to talk about the first 10 in this video. Some of you may have already seen this challenge on short-form platforms like Instagram, YouTube Shorts. Some of you watching this may be completely new, so you'll also get a sneak peek to what they are like. The work was actually honored by the Ministry of Culture in India, which is really cool. I've now worked with a bunch of global artists. Without further ado, let me show you what the first 10 have been. The first language is Marathi. One of my grandparents, my Aji, who you may have seen on this channel before, it's definitely a crowd favorite, is Maharashtrian. It is spoken by 84 million people in the states of Maharashtra, Goa, and parts of Karnataka and the Konkani region, with dozens of different dialects. The song we chose was Apsara Ali from the movie Nagral, composed by Ajay Atul, and my collaborator was my friend Sai Godbole, who is absolutely amazing. She and I had been wanting to do something together for a long time. Kicking off the series with her just felt so right, and the video and song actually did incredibly well. It's something we both really loved. And we were both wearing Paithani Nawari sarees that were our moms. And here you can see Apsara Ali. Language number 2, Bengali or Bangla. I collaborated with my friend Sanjita on this. Sanjita Bhattacharya is an amazing artist. She and I actually have the same alma mater, so she went to Berklee College of Music. I did as well. I was doing a dual degree at Harvard and the Berklee College of Music, but she and I never overlapped in school. We became friends after. And she's a phenomenal, and she has such an amazing voice. And both of us wanted to honor the language by doing Robindra Sangeet. Robindra Sangeet is a style of Bengali music that is compositions to the famous poet Rabindranath Tagore's poetry. For context, he's the person who wrote both the Indian and the Bangladeshi national anthems, very prolific human. And Bangla or Bengali is a language spoken by 280 million people in the regions of Bangladesh, West Bengal, Assam, and Tripura. The song we chose was Ami Chini Go Chini, which I actually found very relatable because while it's fashioned as a love song about a foreign person, a woman, it really resonated with me as somebody who's always been torn between identities and what a sense of home and homeland means. I was wearing a traditional white and red tissue sari that actually was my ammi's. My ammi is my mom's mom, who was from Jammu Kashmir. So the fact that she had a Bengali sari was so lovely and interesting. Yeah, without further ado, here's Bengali.
Ami chini go chini tomare o go bideshini tumi thako sindhu pare o go bideshini o go bideshini ami bhubono bhrumiya sheshe ami eshechi nuton deshe ami otithi tomari dare o go bideshini o go bideshini ami chini go chini tomare o go bideshini.
The third language was Tamil. Now, I had exposure to Marathi growing up, and Bengali is similar enough to Hindi, which is the only Indian language that I actually grew up speaking. So both felt manageable. But Tamil as a language is one of the hardest languages in the world, especially the sound. It's represented as a ZH. Now, if you are Tamil or know the language, if you have any suggestions in the comments of how to make sure you nail that sound, because, oh my God, I feel like I'm winging it every time. But it's such a beautiful language with so much depth. And I asked my friend Abby V to be a part of this collaboration. He is one of the most incredible vocalists I know. And we decided to do a song called Kanne Kalemane, composed by the legendary composer Ilayaraja. It also has a Hindi version called Surmai Akhiyon Mein, which you might see a surprise little insertion of in our video. The language itself is spoken by about 90 million people in Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka. And here is our Tamil song.
सुरमई अखियों में नन्हा मुन्हा एक सपना दे जा रे अंधी पगलों ने नान पार की रे आंडवन इदयतान केटकिरे रारी रारो ओ रारी रो रारी रारो ओ रारी रो.
Language number 4, Gujarati. And for this one, I decided to bring on my dad. In fact, I started out this YouTube channel with singing songs with my dad playing the tabla during the pandemic. There's a whole playlist called Father-Daughter Duets, if you want to check it out. My dad is an incredible tabla player. Professionally, he's in the tech world. But in another life, I think he would have just been a tablaji. In fact, when my mom was introduced to him, she was introduced to him as he's a tablaji, tabla player, who also happens to be an engineer. So it's always been a huge part of his identity, and it's been such a fun thing to do growing up, trying to play together. Gujarati is spoken by around 50 million people. It's from the state of Gujarat in India. There's actually a lot of Gujarati migration to many parts of Africa. A lot of parts of Africa also speak Gujarati, as do all of the other languages in their diaspora, but Gujarati is particularly notable in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, etc. The song we did was Vahalam Avone from Lavni Bhavai, and which was requested by a few people. I was wearing a bandhani sari that my mom's friend very kindly lent me. So hope you enjoy this one.
મીઠડી આ સજા છે દર્દોને મજા છે તારો વિરહ પણ લાગે વાલું રે વાહલમ આવો ને વાહલમ આવો ને માંડી છેલાવને ભાઈ ઓ તા થૈયા થૈયા તા થૈયા 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 તા થૈયા
The fifth language was Bhojpuri. Bhojpuri is a language spoken mostly in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Jharkhand by about 50 million people. And if you are not aware, you should be, because the Bhojpuri music industry is popping. And a lot of the songs that are popular tend to have a very specific style of production. So we chose to do a popular one called Lollipop Lagelu, which was very fun. The lyrics were a bit objectifying, but we tried to do a fun twist to it. And I brought on my friends Dipanshu, you may know as Eclipse Nova, and Gravero to be a part of this collaboration. And we had such a blast. Oh my God. The behind the scenes of this is way more fun than the video itself. And here's a little taste of our Bhojpuri.
तू लगावे लो जबल पेस्टे तू लगावे लो जबल पेस्टे हिले लाया डेस्टे जिला टॉप लागेलो कोमोरेया 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 कोरेला पला लॉलीपॉप लागेलो कोमोरेया कोरेला पला लॉलीपॉप लागेलो
Language number 6 was Tibetan, which is the language spoken in Tibet, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bhutan, and parts of China and Mongolia. But it has about 6 million speakers, and unfortunately is not being passed down as much to future generations, which is true for most of the Sino-Tibetan languages. And it's also a shame because it's such a beautiful language. I collaborated with my friend Urgen on this. Urgen is half Tibetan, and we did a song called Pur, which means fly, by this pop duo called Anu. You may recognize Urgen from the reality TV show called The Stage. And I would say from the 6 languages so far, while Tamil was hard, the pronunciation coaching I needed for Tibetan was way more intense, because just some of those sounds I was not at all familiar with. I borrowed the jewelry I was wearing from a friend who had recently visited Tibet, and here is the song for you to see.
Chị thông pe mo lam det so san up her ma puna ma say cha chiri ma puna re wala chiri ma puna ma say cha chiri ma puna re wala chiri ma puna ma say cha chiri.
So the next language was Punjabi. My Nanu, my maternal grandfather, is Punjabi. Technically, I'm half Punjabi culturally. And it's a language spoken mostly in India and Pakistan, and now Canada, with a population of around 148 million people speaking it. Given my grandpa is Punjabi, he'd explain the lyrics of a song to me called Ambar Sariya, and I really enjoyed it, and I collaborated with my friends Anjali Taneja and Nihal Singh, both of whom live in New York, incredible artist and tabla player. And I was wearing a salwar, which I'd borrowed from a friend. And honestly, it was beautiful. I wish I understood more Punjabi, but it wasn't really passed on to my mom. She speaks Hindi, and it was never really passed on to me and my brother. But it's always a language that's fascinated me and that's taken over the world in the music industry, so it's really cool to see. But here's our version of Ambarsariya.
गली में मारे फेरे पास आने को मेरे गली में मारे फेरे पास आने को मेरे कभी परखता नैना मेरे तो कभी परखता तोल कभी परखता नैन मेरे तो कभी परखता तोल अंबर सरिया मुंडे आवे कचिया कलिया ना तोड़ अंबर सरिया मुंडे आवे कचिया कलिया ना तोड़ तेरी माँ ने बोले है मुझे तीखे से बोल तेरी माँ ने बोले है मुझे तीखे से बोल अंबर सरिया ओ अंबर सरिया
Language number 8, Konkani. This language is spoken by around 2.5 million people in the regions of Goa, Maharashtra, and Karnataka, and just generally the Konkan region of India. But there are so many different dialects of Konkani, and as evidenced by people also getting up in arms in the comments of our Konkani videos, we decided to do a blend of 3 Konkani songs, Maria Pitashe, Yaya Mayaya, and Undir Mama Ailo, which mostly are Goan Konkani songs. And I was wearing a sari that had to be tied in the front, which was very interesting, called the Kunbi sari. For this, I brought on my friends Mihika Sansare. She's an incredible guitarist, and Dikshant, who has such a beautiful voice. And it was honestly a blast. We were trying to add percussion in the song, but we didn't have anything. So I found an empty mint box, crushed some sugar in it, and used that as a shaker. So very DIY, such a blast. And here's the Konkani song for you to enjoy.
Barrate da mommilu se ishtre de compre
मी मुंबई से खाली तुझे लेने को आई लो मी मुंबई से खाली तुझे लेने को आई लो या माया 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 पिताशे Maria Pitashe.
The next language was Hindi, which is the only other language I speak to a decent degree besides English. And it's spoken by 571 million people across the world. It's constantly competing with Spanish for the 3rd most spoken language in the world, and it's the official language of a lot of North Indian states in India. Also because it's the language medium of one of our primary film industries, Bollywood. A lot of people in South Asian countries tend to understand Hindi even if their regions don't speak it. And for this, I decided to do the song Abhi Na Jao Chhod Kar, which means please don't leave me and go, with my friend Shreya Jain, who's, oh my God, such a beautiful voice, so talented. And I chose it because it's one of my parents' favorite songs, so brings back a lot of memories. I was wearing my mom's white sari in it as well, so hope you enjoy.
अभी ना जाओ छोड़ कर कि दिल अभी भरा नहीं अभी तो आए हो बाहर बन के छाए हो हवा जरा महक तो ले नजर जरा महक तो ले ये शाम ढल तो ले जरा कुछ कहा नहीं अभी तो कुछ सुना नहीं अभी ना जाओ छोड़ कर कि दिल अभी भरा नहीं.
And the 10th language was Kumaoni. Kumaoni is a mountain region language spoken in Uttarakhand and parts of Nepal. It's spoken by around 2.5 million people. Also, when I say spoken by, I'm mostly including people who are native speakers or for whom it's their mother tongue or their first language, not someone who's randomly picked up. So there are obviously speakers who are foreign who might have picked up another language. That's not what I'm including in these numbers, and also those numbers have not really been census counted, just in case anybody's fact-checking me. For this, we again did a mashup of 3 beautiful Pahadi songs called Hai Teri Rumala, which is talking about this beautiful scarf. Aaj Ka Dina, which is talking about a partner waiting for her husband to come back from war. And Pyari Janmabhoomi, Mero Pahada, which is just talking about the Pahadi region, this mountainous region in India, which is just gorgeous, and I've actually never been, so I'm excited to go at some point. I collaborated with my friends Bhumi and Jayant Joshi, who are so incredible. And both Bhumi and I wore a rumala, which is the headscarf. It was a language I didn't really have much exposure to, so I really enjoyed learning a little bit about the culture and hope to visit one day. So this is the 10th one, and I hope you enjoy it.
हाय तेरे रुमाला गुलाबी मुखड़ी के भले छजेरे नाके के नथुले के भले छजेरे नाके के नथुली
आँख में आंसू तेरी होली मैं परदेसा तू घर होली
घुट घुट मथे बटूले ले गए ओ याद आली मकैनी तेरे बिना आज का दिना तू होली घर पना ओ याद आली मकैनी तेरे बिना
प्यारी जन्मभूमि
मेरो पहाड़ा के भली छजेरे रंगीली पिछोड़ी हाय तेरे रुमाला.
So that's the first 10 languages of this 50-song series. Let me know which one was your favorite, if you speak any of these languages, and which other languages you would like to see in the series. I think our official count as of today, when you are watching this video, is in the 30s. So I'll leave a little link in the description box below of a link tree of all of the languages that you can go and see at one glance. We have a few left, so let me know whatever language you want. Some of you who are watching this video might have been watching the series or have seen some of these videos. Genuinely, just let me know what language means to you, what identity means to you. And I'm excited to take you along more of this journey, and also just so much more of what we have in store with how this is going to shape up. So cannot wait, and lots of love.